Welcome to PowerDrift. We already have a story on the Yezdi Adventure, we have the story on the Scrambler, and that leaves the Roadster. Well, today is that day. We do have a Yezdi Roadster right here with us. We're going to take it out on the road and see what it does. Before we start, 4 buttons for you to hit: subscribe, the bell notification icon, do give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and do show this video to your friends as well. So, the Roadster is the entry level. Yezdi is the least expensive of the 3 machines, and while the Scrambler and Yezdi Adventure both have a little bit of off-road ability baked in, this one pretends to not do any of those things. It's a pure road machine. We're going to head out of the dirt onto tarmac and see what this thing does. Ready? The Roadster is clearly meant to be a cruiserish motorcycle that primarily will commute, and because it has 29 odd bhp, it will also go out onto the highway. The design has clean classic lines with chrome details here and there, and of course the Parsi furrower on the rear fender. Under the bodywork is a version of the same motor that now powers 4 Classic Legends motorcycles. So this engine is obviously the 334cc single-cylinder engine that began life in the Perak, but since then, Classic Legends has done a lot of work. So according to them, this entire camtrain is new and unique to the Roadster, so the Scrambler and the Adventure don't share it. You've got new pistons in there. Here you've still got the crossover port where you get 2 exhaust pipes that come out of it. The Scrambler has a single header, but it gets 2 cans. This is genuinely 2 exhausts. It is obviously liquid cooled and the radiator has been updated as well. But what this motorcycle gets is a torque curve that is designed for this motorcycle. And the question is, does that come together or not? You will be surprised because the engine's torque curve, sound and feel fit the Roadster rather well, more than I can say for the other Yezdis. Like on the other motorcycles, the part throttle fueling has minor smoothness issues, but you will like the Roadster, especially if you like riding smoothly rather than hard. When you try to cane it above 6000 rpm, the motor notably becomes noisier, but more troublesome is vibration in the pegs, bars and tank that will make it hard to do sustained high speed on long tours. Now there's a caveat here, because when you make a motorcycle in this format, you place the suspension mount under the rider's bum more or less, and the shock is inclined, and together there's always a problem with large bump absorption, and I'm not surprised that if you hit a large bump on the Roadster, you will be out of your seat a little bit. But what I'm happy to report is that while I think the suspension can still be a little bit softer and more compliant, this is actually a setup that you'll be happy to live with, because even over undulations, where the Adventure, for example, doesn't quite settle, this one does, and it carries on with its life quite comfortably. And just like the ride quality, the handling is nice too. I wish the pegs were a little bit lower. It would make the riding position a bit more natural. But the narrow bars compared to the other Yezdis, better feel from the front and good road tires all work in tandem to produce a likeable, alert machine in the corners. In terms of features, there isn't much. ABS is standard of course, and the single LCD pod does a neat job of showing you all the info. But there is no connectivity being offered, standard or optional, and the rest of the accessory list is smaller than that of the Scrambler or the Adventure. But given the format of the Roadster, I don't think that's a problem. That's how it should be. And of all the 3 motorcycles that Yezdis re-entered the market with, to me, that is clearly the best package of the 3. Now, the Scrambler or the Adventure might be the cooler formats that you can go for, and honestly, I'm not a fan of this format of motorcycling, which is sort of halfway between a proper cruiser and a proper naked commuting kind of motorcycle. Mostly because the rear shock placement always causes a little bit of an issue with ride quality, and it's unsolvable in this format. But the way this motorcycle handles, the way the Roadster's ride quality works, the way the brakes work, the way the engine sounds and makes power, it all comes together. Some of the problems of the 334cc engine still apply to this motorcycle, like I've said. So the vibration beyond 6000 rpm, it's still a little bit more than I'd like, but when you ride the motorcycle, the sense that you get that it's coming together, it's feeling nice. And I think this versus the Meteor 350 will be a very interesting comparison indeed. It helps, of course, that this motorcycle has the middle level of torque among the 3 Yezdis, it has the middle level of weight among the 3 Yezdis, but it is the least expensive of the 3 Yezdis to purchase. So, if you're heading to a Yezdi showroom with whatever you've got in your mind about the Scrambler or the Adventure, I suggest you do take a ride on this motorcycle because I know it will make you smile. Thank you so much for watching PowerDrift. This was our first ride on the Yezdi Roadster. Soon we will get this motorcycle for a road test, and at that point we will be able to compare this with the Royal Enfield Meteor 350, the motorcycle it competes directly against. What will happen? That's a story for another time.